A confrontation reveals knowledge about activities involving Orion, who has been involved with WRE and stolen a laptop to find Dantos' identity. There are discussions about Calypso, which is described as a tool rather than a person, and suggestions that the gems would be better handled by more experienced players. The motivation behind the conflict is revealed to be stopping the founder from gathering 10 gems. This appears to be more than just a power struggle, with hints at a deeper backstory that could reshape understanding of the entire situation. A shocking revelation emerges that the founder didn't create Eternum, but discovered it. The various worlds within Eternum have always existed, with past civilizations glimpsing it and mistaking it for the afterlife. Special individuals called Immortals could enter Eternum at will. The founder developed a system allowing regular humans to access Eternum through neural implants and astral projections. The NPCs are revealed to be souls of the dead from human history, with the founder able to control most of them. Despite seeming all-powerful, the founder is revealed to be human and needs the gems. The 10 gems represent the essence of Eternum itself, and whoever collects them all can transcend time and space to become a god. The founder initiated the quest to have others bring the gems to him. The scene shifts to a tense family situation involving Alex and her father William. Alex signs a document that effectively removes her from the Bardot family, stripping her of all rights, privileges, and even her family name. The confrontation reveals deep family tensions and emotional abuse. After William's departure, there is an emotional moment between the protagonist and Alex. A comforting hug is shared as Alex breaks down, showing vulnerability and strengthening their bond. The protagonist promises Alex she won't be alone. The scene jumps to a few days later. Alex returns to find someone still playing Eternum. She discusses her swimming training arrangements with Mr. Kelligan and brings chocolate from a favorite store. Alex reflects on her relationship status and feelings. She expresses some confusion about jealousy and attachment while trying to maintain a casual attitude about the situation. She makes jokes about sharing, but quickly dismisses them as just kidding. A person talks to themselves, worried someone might catch them doing so. They sneeze, which triggers an interaction with a robot called Eradicator AXR-1. The robot initiates a health screening protocol, asking questions about server access, alien eggs, and potential infections. The robot performs an XM-ray scan looking for xenomorph larvae. After completing the scan, it determines there is no infection present. The scene reveals that Ulysses has deployed these robots as a drastic measure to handle a xenomorph epidemic, rather than releasing a software patch. The conversation shifts to tracking someone called Coyote, who has recently relocated from their hidden base. The target is described as extremely paranoid about staying hidden and has moved to an unknown location, possibly in one of the many abandoned warehouses in the area. The scene transitions to discussing Circuit Edge, described as the ultimate nightclub featuring cool people and brain dances. This leads into commentary about a major revelation regarding Malam and Elix, suggesting significant plot developments about chosen people and special abilities. A conversation occurs where someone declines an invitation despite their history as a WRE informant. There is confusion about two people being sisters, leading to an awkward discussion about age assumptions and appearances. A mother-daughter conversation unfolds where the mother playfully teases about noticing changes in her daughter's behavior, suggesting a potential romantic interest. The daughter becomes embarrassed as her mother offers advice about protection and birth control. The scene shifts to someone checking social media, specifically Instagram, noting that Ryan hasn't liked their latest picture. They express concern about this change in behavior, wondering if they've done something wrong or if their appearance in the photo is the issue. Plans for a major party at Sebastian's chalet are discussed. The event promises to be elaborate with a DJ, pool, unlimited bar, and dance floor. It's described as the bash of the year, with guests coming from all over the state. Someone declines the party invitation, revealing they have other commitments including a tournament, a photo shoot at Orion's studio, and plans to play Eternum. This leads to a discussion about whether gaming is nerdy, with the person defending their gaming hobby. A discussion about a Lady of Eternum costume reveals that someone named Penelope has been showing increased interest in the game lately. The conversation suggests it can be quite addicting, with Alyssa even opening a store in the mall recently. There is consideration about getting an implant to enhance the gaming experience. A nervous confession unfolds as someone expresses their deep feelings, acknowledging their unusual first meeting and the strange situations they have faced together. They want to take the relationship to the next level, despite feeling awkward about expressing these emotions. The moment is interrupted by a parent, creating an uncomfortable situation. Detailed plans are laid out for a perfect date with Ryan, including pirate-themed snacks, playing Eternum together, sharing manga drawings, and watching anime. The careful planning shows excitement and anticipation for making this special day perfect. There is hope for the evening to progress naturally into a Netflix and chill situation. Panic ensues when drawing utensils are discovered missing, threatening to ruin the planned date. A solution presents itself when remembering Annie has the supplies and will be at a cafe meetup soon. The situation highlights the importance of preparation and attention to detail for the upcoming special occasion. Observations about friendship pairings show interesting dynamics forming, like Alex with Dahlia and Nova with Annie. There is contemplation about future choices that might need to be made regarding relationships, expressing anxiety about potentially having to choose between different options. A conversation about perfectionism leads to disappointing news about a delayed One Piece finale due to an animation studio strike. Workers are demanding better conditions, including bathroom breaks and reasonable work hours. This news appears to cause distress as it impacts previously made plans. At a cafe, interactions with a flirtatious server named Ruth lead to ordering drinks for 2 people. The server offers a special deal for couples, though the price seems questionably high at 1995 units. The scene ends with hot chocolate being ordered and personal service offered. A discussion about a mystery novel reveals an intriguing story about a girl named Ivy who inherits a house filled with creepy obsidian statues. The detailed description of the haunting narrative showcases storytelling skills and shared interest in horror stories. The conversation leads to an observation about modern reading habits being affected by technology. A private moment reveals vulnerability as someone feels comfortable enough to remove their gloves. The interaction shows trust and a desire to overcome fears about special abilities, particularly visions that occur through touch. One person offers support and reassurance about controlling these powers together. During an intimate conversation, there is physical contact that causes trembling. Discussion centers around visions of the future and whether they are predetermined or can be changed. A unique discovery is made that touching one particular person does not trigger visions, marking a first-time occurrence. A casual meetup at a cafe includes compliments about fashion choices and hairstyles between friends. One person arrives early before meeting someone named Nobek, taking time to greet others briefly while maintaining secrecy about certain personal matters. Plans are discussed about investigating strange occurrences in Hollowbrook village, where NPCs are behaving unusually by persecuting magic users. This connects to a larger mission involving gathering 10 gems and freeing NPCs from something called Eternum. A sudden vision occurs during physical contact, causing visible distress. The affected person tries to play it off as a dizzy spell, but clearly saw something significant, leading to a hasty departure from the cafe. The scene shifts to a rainy setting, highlighting the frequent precipitation in the area. This creates a specific ambiance for the virtual world experience, prompting reflection on real-world weather patterns. The virtual environment of a Comber's server provides a uniquely positive atmosphere despite potentially unpleasant mission objectives. The mood remains uplifting even when facing challenging circumstances. An important ritual is discussed taking place in a cave, requiring complete isolation for an uncertain duration. The participant, possibly an elven princess, seeks to find her way back to her homeland through this meditation process. A group prepares to enter Hollowbrook village, which is located about a 20-minute walk from an exo-portal beyond a small hill. They discuss meeting Penny at the village entrance and check out their new outfits, which fit perfectly and give them a hunter-like appearance. Their cover story is that they are hunters from another village that was attacked by vampires, coming to assist the villagers. The group discusses their mission strategy, noting they need to be extra careful since vampires have killed real players recently. They mention avoiding magic use, which is particularly challenging for one member who is a conjurer. This investigation could potentially free NPCs from some form of control. The adventure begins as they approach Hollowbrook. Upon arrival, they find the village appears abandoned and decrepit. Penny meets them inside a house, warning them to keep quiet as they might be watched. She mentions finding large canine footprints in the South Forest. The team compliments each other's outfits and discusses sharing 2 silver swords between them, with some planning to rely on magic only if absolutely necessary. At the village center, they note its small size, estimating it housed no more than 300 people. The atmosphere is tense with a mysterious chill in the air. Suddenly, 4 men appear from a nearby building, warning them to leave before sunset if they value their lives. The group explains their hunter status and offers help, but the villagers are suspicious and reluctant. They learn that many villagers have fled, leaving only the strongest behind. The remaining villagers are determined to eradicate the vampires, believing they are protected by their lord in this mission. A tense exchange occurs when the villagers express doubt about female hunters. Despite skepticism, the group maintains their position. The villagers reveal that vampires gather at the old crypt of the Lord of Hollowbrook, while werewolves roam the western area. The team splits up to cover more ground. One will investigate vampires, another will track werewolves, and the third will stay in town gathering intel. They agree to meet back in 4 hours, though there are concerns about separating. A gruesome discovery is made of mutilated and burned werewolf corpses, revealing the violent nature of the conflict. The village appears mostly deserted, except for a few houses, and the remaining villagers are uncooperative in providing information. A pivotal decision is made using a coin flip about whether to search for companions or stay in town. After the coin lands on heads, the choice is made to go look for them. The next decision point involves choosing between heading east towards vampires or west towards werewolves. After some deliberation, the decision is made to pursue the vampire path and find Penny, reasoning that as a novice, she likely needs more assistance than Luna. With school the next day, there is motivation to wrap things up quickly before it gets too late. The search leads to an eerie, ancient cemetery shrouded in shadows. A dropped torch is discovered, raising concerns about Penny's safety. Despite the creepy atmosphere, there is no choice but to press forward into the cemetery to look for her. An encounter occurs with Penny, who initially mistakes the searcher for an imposter. To prove authenticity, a shared memory is recalled about giving up a dance so Nancy could get a job. This helps establish trust between them. Penny explains she was ambushed by vampires and lost her vest in the escape. This leads to an awkward moment as she explains the practical implications of losing the supportive garment. The conversation shifts to reminiscing about past encounters and upcoming plans. The situation becomes dire as they encounter terrifying creatures in the cemetery that are immune to magic. These beings move with incredible speed and hunt by sound, forcing them to stay quiet and seek cover. Dozens of creatures emerge, creating a seriously dangerous situation. A flashback occurs to previous combat training sessions that focused on facing larger opponents. The training emphasized technique over brute force, particularly when dealing with taller and stronger adversaries. Face to face with one of the creatures, they realize these beings are even larger than expected and appear almost human-like. The creatures seem to be blind, but potentially have enhanced other senses, particularly smell. The situation becomes increasingly tense as they try to determine how to handle the threat. A polite vampire butler named Mortimer greets two visitors at Lord Schur's residence, apologizing for the unwelcoming reception they received earlier. Despite his frightening appearance, he assures them his manners are refined, unlike his less civilized brethren. The visitors are surprised by his ability to speak normally compared to other vampires. The visitors try to excuse themselves, claiming they need to head to Slovenia. However, Mortimer insists they meet the Lord, noting their hunter attire seems suspicious, but concluding they likely wear it just to travel more easily. After some hesitation, they agree to a 30-minute visit. Mortimer guides them through a maze-like series of tunnels, leading to a crypt with a mysterious altar. One visitor impressively memorizes the complex route out. While waiting for the Lord, they discuss how the setting reminds them of classic vampire movies, though they expected something more elegant and grand. Lord Lazarus Schur dramatically appears, introducing himself as the Sovereign of Stravinovia. His wife Sandra soon joins them, displaying intense interest in the visitors' physical attributes and suggesting they would make excellent vampires. Her behavior is notably strange and forward. The Lord explains they come from an ancient vampire lineage that was cursed, causing their people to transform into mindless monsters. Only he, his wife, and Mortimer retained their sanity. Sandra is showing early signs of this transformation, which is why they fled their homeland seeking a cure. The Lord offers to help the visitors with their investigation into the magical disturbances affecting the area, claiming extensive knowledge of earthly and astral realms. In exchange, he requests they perform a waltz dance to help his wife remember their former life of grand masquerade balls, hoping it might slow her transformation. The visitors agree to dance, and ethereal musicians begin playing Waltz No. 2. One visitor displays surprisingly skilled dance moves, attributing this unexpected talent to some connection with Eternum, suggesting they may have learned these skills in another life. The scene becomes quite intimate and surreal as they dance. A romantic dance scene unfolds where two people move together gracefully in perfect synchronization. The music guides their movements as they share an intimate moment, temporarily forgetting about external threats and dangers. The dance creates a special connection between them as they move sensually together. The dance performance receives praise from onlookers who find it enchanting and exquisite. There are references to Romania, which creates an interesting point of discussion. The Lord compliments both dancers on their remarkable finesse and offers to answer any questions they may have. A discussion about vampire mythology takes place. The Lord explains that while vampires need blood and don't age, many common beliefs are just stories. They can't transform into bats, sunlight doesn't instantly kill them, they sleep in beds, not coffins, can see their reflections and aren't harmed by crucifixes or garlic, which he demonstrates by eating raw garlic. The conversation reveals some confusion about geography and memories. While the Lord mentions living in Stravonovia, he claims to have never heard of Romania, despite his wife mentioning it earlier. He is unfamiliar with terms like Eternum, Europe, Asia, or America, saying they never left Ecuador. The relationship between vampires and Hollowbrook is explained. The vampires previously lived peacefully, feeding only on animals, but hunters began targeting them without provocation. This forced them to take defensive action to protect their people who have become mindless monsters. After leaving the vampires, there is discussion about NPCs behaving like real people, but being unable to break free from their programming. While some consider the visit unproductive, others see value in gaining potential allies for the future. Plans are made to research the curse affecting these beings. A mysterious presence is detected following the group. One character decides to investigate while sending others ahead to safety. Despite sensing the presence, they determine it poses no threat. There is mention of feeling increasingly connected to Eternum and being able to sense the world around them. The scene shifts to a tense moment involving hostile hunters. They discover the location of centaurs in the forest and prepare to attack them, justifying their actions through religious beliefs. They view magic as an evil force that must be eliminated, considering themselves instruments of their deity. The scene opens in a village where hunters have taken up a crusade against magic due to Father Bakar. There is concern about finding Orion and Luna to warn them about the hunters who are revealed to be antagonists. The village appears deserted with no sign of Orion or Penny. The sound of a crying girl leads Luna to investigate an old inn. Luna discovers a young girl named Sibylla crying alone in the inn. The girl explains she got lost looking for her dog Rub and couldn't make it home before dark due to monsters in the streets. Luna offers to wait with her and shares a story about another girl named Anne who was reunited with her lost mother to comfort Sibylla. A magical fox named Zippy appears with his cat companion Maurice. They attempt to cheer up Sibylla with tricks and playful antics. The lighthearted moment is interrupted when Sibylla's mother bursts in and accuses Luna of being a monster due to her red eyes. The mother forcefully removes Sibylla and calls for hunters to kill Luna. The scene shifts as hunters begin searching for Luna. When confronted, Orion plays dumb and pretends not to know Luna is a witch, claiming her red eyes are common in the Southern Isles. The hunter warns that Luna was seen trying to lure children and must be killed rather than taken prisoner. Orion searches for Luna and finds her hiding in an old barn, remembering she mentioned hiding in barns when they first met. Luna expresses gratitude but insists Orion should leave to avoid danger. Despite her magical powers, her kind nature prevents her from harming others, even in self-defense. Orion chooses to stay with Luna until dawn, remembering how difficult it was for her when previously called a monster. They share a touching moment as Orion uses playful banter to lift her spirits. The scene demonstrates their deepening emotional connection beyond physical attraction as they wait together in the barn. As Luna and Orion settle in to wait out the night, they share casual conversation followed by comfortable silence. Luna appears self-conscious about being boring company, while Orion distracts himself with silly thoughts about barrels. The scene ends with Luna apologizing for the silence, showing her continued insecurity despite their growing closeness. A deep conversation unfolds about different types of silence and personal connections. The discussion highlights how comfortable silence between two people who trust each other can be meaningful. The dynamic between the characters shows a strong bond where they can be authentic with each other without fear of judgment. The conversation shifts to discussing personal backgrounds and past experiences. One character reveals they used to push people away and learned that being alone was easier, even before moving to Kredon. This leads into exploring their life before Kredon. A flashback reveals a traumatic school experience involving bullying and cruel accusations about a dog's death. The scene depicts harsh treatment from classmates who spread rumors and physically harassed the character, showing the difficult social environment they endured. The flashback continues with other students gossiping and spreading dark rumors about Luna Hernandez, discussing her unusual red eyes and false accusations about her past. The scene illustrates how isolating and hurtful these rumors were. The scene shifts to a touching father-daughter conversation where Luna's dad shows concern about her well-being. Despite the difficulties at school, Luna maintains a brave face. They discuss moving to a new home, with her father promising more time together. Luna opens up about learning to hide her emotions and maintain a constant expression regardless of her feelings. She explains how Eternum became her escape, where she could blend in without judgment, though she acknowledges taking things too far. An emotional breakthrough occurs as Luna is encouraged to be more transparent about her feelings. The conversation emphasizes the importance of emotional honesty and being true to oneself, especially with trusted people. The scene transitions to an intimate moment between the characters, featuring a surprise kiss that leads to mutual expressions of attraction and appreciation. They share honest feelings about what they admire in each other. After some time passes, the characters find themselves near small ruins, recognizing landmarks from their arrival. They discuss being about 100 yards from an exit portal and river while searching for others. The group reunites with obvious relief and excitement. They begin sharing updates about their separate adventures, including encounters with vampires, visits to a cemetery, and preventing an ambush on a centaur family. An exciting adventure unfolds as chaos breaks out when hunters appear. After defeating them, there is an unexpected encounter with the king, who bizarrely proposes marriage and suggests breeding a half-human, half-forest lineage. This strange proposal creates an opportunity to sneak away back to town. Upon returning to town, there's a chance meeting with an injured woman who receives restoration magic healing. Her grateful husband appears and surprisingly offers help, warning about Father Bakar being dangerous. They provide directions to a keep, where after some waiting and odd encounters with wildlife, others are finally found. The situation takes a dark turn when Father Bakar, the hunter leader, appears with a gun. He threatens the group, revealing he possesses a special Dimiterium weapon that can suppress magic within a 10-foot radius. He demands information about vampire locations in exchange for their lives. In a surprising twist, Father Bakar's weapon is secretly swapped with a violin through incredibly fast supernatural movements. This reveals the presence of vampires and werewolves who had orchestrated this clever deception. Bangrind, leader of werewolves from Western Ekebar, introduces himself. He explains how vampires and werewolves set aside their ancient rivalry to work together against Father Bakar, whose corruption of Hollowbrook citizens needed to be stopped. They plan to take him to their sanctuary for rehabilitation. The adventure concludes on a positive note, with new alliances formed between unlikely groups, vampires and werewolves. Plans are made for future meetings and introductions between various supernatural communities, marking this as an important first step in freeing NPCs from Melissa's control. Upon returning to the real world at nearly 5 a.m., there's reflection on how nights in Akbar differ from Earth. leading to questions about whether it's a different plane, dimension, or location in the universe, accessed through neural implants or astral projection. The night ends with a sweet exchange of messages with Luna, expressing mutual appreciation for their time together. Despite the late hour and limited sleep ahead, the interaction leaves a warm feeling and anticipation for future adventures together. Morning arrives all too quickly, bringing chaotic preparations for the day ahead, including a scheduled photo shoot. Despite minimal sleep, everyone maintains high energy levels as they rush to start their day and complete the week. It's the end of a long week of classes, and everyone is wrapping up for the day. Luna mentions she has plans to play with Alex while discussing weekend activities. Luna has to rush off to help at her dad's Café Locos, since a regular barista couldn't make it for their Friday shift. Internal thoughts reveal complex relationship dynamics within a friend group. There is consideration about how others at school might react if they knew about the close relationships between Luna, Dahlia, Annie, and Alex. An upcoming photo shoot with Penelope is also mentioned. Deep introspection about relationships and feelings emerges. Questions about exclusivity, jealousy, and the true nature of love surface. The internal dialogue shows conflicting emotions about potentially dating multiple people while recognizing it could be hypocritical to feel possessive. Mr. Keating catches someone daydreaming in class, but is impressed when they successfully answer questions about biology topics like prokaryotic cells, mitosis stages, and the Krebs cycle. The professor notices and compliments their new hairstyle before dismissing them. Chang appears seeking relationship advice about asking Michaela out on an official date. After receiving encouraging words about their previous shared moments and building confidence, Chang feels ready to take the next step and ask Michaela to be his girlfriend. A flirty exchange occurs with Penny before a photo shoot. There is playful banter about modeling and professional relationships, with compliments exchanged about appearance and style. The conversation maintains a lighthearted tone while discussing potential career opportunities. The conversation with Penny continues with playful teasing about clothing choices and observations. Penny demonstrates awareness of others' reactions and maintains control of the flirtatious banter. The interaction ends with plans to head to the studio for the photo session after a quick bathroom break. A playful interaction occurs after class, where there is some flirtatious teasing and banter between two people. One person heads to the bathroom for a quick touch-up, while the other waits, despite thinking they already look perfect. The scene shifts to a quiet spot behind Kredon's bank, where someone named Penny has an internal monologue, questioning her behavior and teasing. She compares herself to a middle school student with a crush, trying to maintain self-respect while dealing with conflicting emotions. The conversation switches to academic topics, specifically statistics and journalism studies. There is frustration about having to take statistics courses as part of Kredon University's core curriculum, particularly with analysis of variance coming up next. Discussion moves to disappointment over a delayed One Piece episode that was meant to be watched with Orion. Plans included pirate-themed activities and playing on the pirate server with Nancy to find Coyote's gem. There is nervous denial about it being a date. A conversation about hanging out and making weekend plans unfolds. There is discussion about spending Sunday together shopping and celebrating recovering Coyote's gem. The interaction shows close friendship dynamics and planning future activities. Lily appears and reveals she got a neural implant for gaming. Despite excitement about playing together, scheduling conflicts prevent immediate gaming plans. Discussion about photo shoots and assistance comes up, leading to some awkward conversations about relationships. Internal reflection occurs about relationships and career priorities. There is consideration about Instagram DMs and potential romantic interests, but ultimately deciding to focus on career development instead of relationship pursuits. The scene transitions to a professional photo studio setting. The location is described as impressive, with scaffolding, and appears more professional than previously visited studios. There is discussion about career progression in the modeling world. The strategy involves placing an attractive model next to cars to boost audience attention. This opportunity could help establish connections with Ulysses, an important business contact. The scene shifts to a salon where Philippe, a flamboyant hairstylist, scolds Penelope for being late to her appointment. Despite his initial frustration, he forgives her, charmed by her beauty. He mentions having adjusted an outfit for her photo shoot. Philippe notices Orion, complimenting their appearance and suggesting a new hairstyle. Some playful jealousy emerges between the characters before they proceed with preparations for the photo shoot. Orion explores the photo studio, discovering an impressive Lamborghini and other covered luxury cars meant for the shoot. Their excitement is interrupted by a stern warning not to touch the vehicles. Aspen Simmons, a marketing coordinator from Ulysses Inc., announces the session has been canceled in favor of a competitor named Nico. This creates tension, as it's revealed this isn't the first time they've been pushed out of an opportunity. Penelope arrives looking stunning in her styled hair, diffusing the tense situation. Through negotiation, they manage to secure a 30-minute window for their photo shoot before the next client arrives. Aspen begins collecting information for a new profile while displaying a cynical attitude about the industry. During this process, there are observations about Penelope's nervous behavior. The profile creation continues with questions about Penelope's social media presence. It's revealed she has 105,000 Instagram followers, but isn't monetizing her platform effectively. The registration process concludes with basic information about Penelope, including her status as a journalism student at Kredon University. The 30-minute countdown for their shoot officially begins. A brief interaction occurs in a photo studio where someone needs to control their attraction to a woman. The conversation reveals some tension between the participants as they prepare for an upcoming photo shoot. Someone grabs a camera and they get ready to begin their work. Clear instructions are given about a 30-minute time limit for the photo shoot. There are strict rules about not telling Valentino about taking pictures for a racing server promo. The stakes are high as someone's job is on the line. An expensive professional camera is provided with warnings about being careful with the equipment. Penny arrives wearing an outfit that matches an NPC greeting character from a server. The photographer is clearly impressed by her appearance. Despite some initial tension, they begin planning different poses with the car, including sitting and lying on the hood. The photographer gives some cheesy but sweet compliments about Penny's natural photogenic qualities. The photo shoot progresses as they work to capture 4 specific shots. Requirements include featuring both the model in the dress and the Lamborghini logo. The photographer is clearly impressed with how well Penny poses from various angles. Time pressure mounts as they try to complete everything within the deadline. As time runs out, there's discussion about transferring the photos and getting them processed before Valentino arrives. Despite the photographer's preference for old-school equipment, there's some friendly banter about the vintage camera. The mood lightens as they wrap up the official shoot. After the main shoot, Penny expresses enjoyment of modeling and feeling adventurous. The photographer and model share some flirtatious moments, discussing the possibility of taking additional private photos. They decide to lock the door for an impromptu private session. A serious discussion ensues about boundaries and keeping things casual. Both parties agree to have fun without crossing certain lines or creating drama. They establish mutual understanding about maintaining simple, uncomplicated interactions. The scene shifts dramatically as Valentino arrives at the studio, finding himself unable to enter. He becomes angry about being locked out and threatens to fire someone. The situation becomes tense as he expresses his displeasure with the studio management. The narrative suddenly transitions to a mysterious scene in a place called Eternum. Someone named Orion finds themselves in a dark space, chained to a rock structure. They encounter a being who explains they are in Limbo, a place beyond time and space. The scene concludes with revelations about Eternum not being a mere creation, but a discovery. There are discussions about NPCs being trapped humans and a mission involving 10 gems of doom. A mysterious lady of Eternum explains she is trapped and can only provide limited help in freeing the others. A cryptic conversation unfolds about freeing someone and remembering things. The dialogue suggests previous attempts have been made but were unsuccessful. There are references to moving forward and seeking help, though the exact context remains mysterious. The exchange has an urgent, almost desperate tone about finding the right questions and solutions. The scene shifts to someone waking up drenched in sweat after what appears to be an intense dream or nightmare. They compare their state to someone named Dahlia after a workout. The rain has returned after a 3-day break, creating a gloomy atmosphere. A message arrives from Penny about their late arrival the previous night. The conversation reveals details about an intense encounter with Penny the previous night that left both parties exhausted. No chance for discussion occurred as they were too tired. The scene then transitions to gym-related messages between characters, with Penny, Andy, and Dahlia working out together. The exchange continues with playful banter about fitness goals and gym dedication. Dahlia is described as being on a mission to improve everyone's fitness levels. There's some flirtatious photo sharing and compliments exchanged about new workout attire and appearances. The focus shifts to preparations for accessing a pirate server and obtaining a gem. A brief interaction occurs with Nancy, who is doing laundry. The conversation has underlying tension with hints of attraction and flirtation, though both parties acknowledge they need to stay focused on their tasks. The scene moves to arriving at Nova's door, reflecting on their first meeting and current situation. There's confusion about whether this is a date, creating some awkward tension. The planned One Piece episode viewing was delayed, leading to uncertainty about the day's activities. Nova appears unprepared for the visit, having forgotten about their plans. Despite the awkwardness, they decide to proceed with hanging out and gaming together. Nova directs the visitor to the guest room while going to change clothes, trying to maintain a casual atmosphere despite the oversight. The interaction continues with discussion about Nova's hairstyle and gaming preparations. There's an attempt to keep things light and casual, though underlying tension remains. They prepare to dive into their gaming session, focusing on retrieving a gem from someone named Coyote. A casual hangout session begins with anticipation about playing games and grabbing snacks, setting up a typical Saturday vibe. The conversation gets interrupted when Nova's mom unexpectedly enters, bringing cappuccinos. Despite some mild awkwardness about knocking first, the mom warmly welcomes Ryan. The mom proceeds to hilariously expose Nova's excitement about Ryan's visit, revealing how Nova had been anxiously preparing all week. She shares details about Nova attempting to bake desserts, which resulted in a small kitchen fire, trying to draw manga, and spending 3 hours perfecting her hairstyle, all facts Nova had tried to play down. The embarrassment reaches peak levels when Nova's mom makes comments about being glad to see her daughter with a thoughtful boy instead of alone with her computer, and mentions Nova's obvious crush. This prompts Nova to quickly usher her mom out of the room, cutting off any further potentially embarrassing revelations. After the mom leaves, Nova and Ryan have a heart-to-heart about the awkward situation. Nova tries to downplay everything her mom said, particularly about her hairstyle. Despite initially claiming she doesn't need validation, she adorably admits she actually wants compliments, leading to sweet exchanges between them. Ryan takes charge of their date agenda, planning to play Eternum to find a gem, followed by getting calzones from Mario's Pizza. They agree to let Nova choose their next activity, whether it's anime, video games, or more Eternum gameplay. The atmosphere becomes more relaxed and playful as they prepare to start their gaming session. The scene shifts to their gameplay in Eternum, where they're on a pirate-themed server searching for El Coyote. Ryan struggles with seasickness during their virtual ocean journey, while Nova helps keep his spirits up. They discuss their ongoing mission and strategies for finding their target. As they prepare to return to Tortuga in the game, Nova impresses everyone with her sailing expertise, revealing she studies different disciplines weekly to improve her gaming skills. The conversation highlights her impressive ability to balance real-life responsibilities with gaming leadership, showing her dedication and time management skills. The group discusses their close friendship and how spending time together, whether at competitions, photo shoots, or family gatherings, is meaningful and enjoyable. There is appreciation expressed for being the glue that holds everyone together, though attempts are made to keep things from getting too sentimental. The crew notices something strange. The ship is unusually quiet with no sailors in sight. Only the sound of waves and distant seagulls can be heard. An ominous presence is sensed, leading to tension building on the ship. A mysterious figure named Boone reveals himself. He turns out to be El Coyote, explaining that the previous encounter in Black Ridge was with a decoy. This revelation shows his deceptive nature and strategic planning, having intentionally lured them to the New World. El Coyote takes Maximo hostage and reveals his true intentions. Despite initial tensions and threats, he releases Maximo as a show of goodwill to enable negotiations. The situation remains tense but shifts toward potential cooperation. El Coyote proposes an unexpected deal. He offers his Gem of Doom in exchange for retrieving the Heart of the Abyss from the Island of Lost Souls. The treasure must be obtained within 16 hours before the next sunrise, when the island will vanish. After the confrontation, Maximo shows intense loyalty, even suggesting naming his unborn child after the general. This creates a slightly awkward moment that is deflected with alternative name suggestions. The interaction highlights the deep immersion some players have in the game. The team formulates a plan to reach the Isle of Lost Souls, calculating it will take 7 to 8 hours to cover the 100 nautical mile journey. They decide to return to Tortuga first to recruit new crew members, as they need additional support for the mission. The group plans a quick, real-world break before embarking on their treasure hunt. However, tension arises when Nova appears upset about the rushed timeline. The situation hints at underlying interpersonal conflicts within the team, despite their shared mission. A discussion occurs about poor communication regarding delayed plans. The delivery of news about postponing an anime binge-watching session came across as inconsiderate, particularly given Nova's excitement about it. After realizing the impact, a new plan is proposed to have a relaxed lunch and watch a few episodes before reconvening in Tortuga in 3 hours. The scene shifts to Tortuga, described as a pirate haven filled with questionable establishments. The goal is to locate someone named Gypsy Goldtooth at the Last Resort Tavern. The tavern has an unexpectedly cozy atmosphere with interesting decorations like mermaid bones. The bartender agrees to spread word about recruiting crew members for a mission with a big reward. The destination is revealed to be the Island of Lost Souls, which has a dark reputation. The bartender warns that no ships have ever returned from seeking the heart of the abyss there, essentially calling it a death sentence. Despite the ominous warning, determination remains strong to complete the mission. A concerning discussion about the deteriorating state of various gaming servers ensues. Reports of murders in combat-free zones, rogue NPCs, and hackers causing chaos are shared. There are mentions of Chinese involvement and Commander Hassler's controversial methods in dealing with threats. The gaming world appears to be in serious turmoil. The conversation turns to a powerful player known as Orion, who has gained reputation for impressive feats like defeating Jastica's the Decapitator and winning the Tri-Wizard tournament. There is speculation about Orion's ability to challenge Dantos, with mention of a previous encounter where Dantos won against a less experienced Orion. A surprising revelation occurs when Gypsy Goldtooth appears, revealed to be a 51 Asian merchant with broken English. This happens to be the fourth coincidental meeting, suggesting these encounters might not be purely chance. Goldtooth is accompanied by Wenlin, who has notably changed appearance since their last meeting. A player has different character names across various game servers: Gypsy Goldtooth in the New World server, Bunzai Shearer in Mayo, and Quantum Quasar Star-Lord in Adrameda. The player follows someone named Wenlin to a balcony in a bustling tavern to conduct some business, though they only have 5 minutes to spare. The player expresses they only need one specific item, directions to the Isle of the Law. However, the merchants keep trying to sell various items like rum barrels, mimic chests, invisible sunscreen, and decorative fire swords. The merchants are very pushy with their sales tactics despite the player's clear disinterest. The merchants continue aggressively trying to sell items, including a fake parrot named Maurice, Princess Jam, and other random trinkets. Finally frustrated, the player firmly states they only want a map to the Island of Lost Souls, as they need to reach it by sunrise for a quest involving the heart of the abyss. After much persistence, they locate the last available map. The merchant offers it for free as a VIP customer perk, an apology for taking up time. They try to upsell additional insider info for various prices, but the player firmly declines, only wanting the basic map. The map reveals a challenging route through treacherous locations, including the icebergs of Frostbones, Siren's Cove, Bay of the Undead, and the Paradox. Just as the player tries to leave, the merchant makes one final sales pitch for a special poly juice potion priced at 1,100 Eternals. Despite the high cost that would use most of their money, the player decides to purchase the transformation potion for 999 Eternals, reasoning it could be useful someday. The funky chunky potion comes with a warranty, but no expiration date. The player finally manages to leave with both the map and potion. The scene shifts to a conversation between Nova and her mother. Nova seems distracted and upset, especially when her mother makes suggestive comments about her relationship with another character. Nova expresses feelings of being just the quirky friend people only reach out to when they need something. The emotional conversation ends with Nova's mother offering to cancel her plans to stay with her daughter, but Nova insists she go, mentioning they need to return to an important tournament task in the game soon. The scene concludes with an exchange of I love yous, though Nova appears emotionally vulnerable. After waiting for her mom to leave the house, Nova enters the guest bedroom. There is a conversation about lunch plans, with suggestions of having leftover mac and cheese or tacos instead of waiting for pizza delivery due to the rain. The focus is on needing to get back to the new world quickly. An intimate moment develops as Nova is pulled into a tender kiss. This marks their first kiss together, leading to playful banter and flirting. The atmosphere becomes romantic as they discuss cuddling and spending quality time together before returning to the new world tasks. The pair share a heartfelt conversation expressing their feelings. Nova opens up about her insecurities and receives reassurance about being special. They decide to get pizza despite the rain, with plans for Nova to shower while waiting for the food delivery. Walking through Chinatown to get pizza, there is reflection on recent personal improvements, from academic success to physical strength. The neighborhood appears to have deteriorated since Eternum became popular, highlighting issues with digital drugs versus real-world substances. A confrontation occurs with two individuals seeking cigarettes, escalating into harassment. Despite warnings to back off, the situation becomes tense. When one attacker attempts to throw a punch, it is blocked and countered effectively, breaking the aggressor's nose. The situation takes a dangerous turn when one of the attackers pulls out a gun, shooting in retaliation for being disrespected. The severity escalates quickly as they discuss potential police involvement and reference a previous incident with someone named Alvarez. A tense scene unfolds with two individuals fleeing in panic, with one expressing fear about returning to imprisonment. Their hasty escape and emotional state suggest they were involved in a serious incident. The situation appears dangerous and urgent as they sprint away from the scene. The scene shifts to someone experiencing intense physical distress, likely injured in the stomach area. They struggle to stay conscious while facing what they describe as sunset-like sensations. The pain becomes increasingly overwhelming, making movement difficult. A mysterious dialogue begins between two entities, revealing this situation wasn't part of an expected path. One figure mentions this isn't Eternum, suggesting they are in an unfamiliar or unplanned reality. The tone becomes ominous as mortality and consequences are discussed. The conversation continues with criticism about becoming overconfident and intoxicated by power and pleasures. The injured person, referred to as both Orion and Ryan, learns there will be no reset or fresh start in this world, suggesting fatal consequences to their actions.